with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Do want to apologize for how boring this show can be. Maybe a big slug of Diet Mountain Dew will get you all started up. Works for me. That we turn down the temperature here in the studio. Although the cold for some is a great way to sleep. Am I the only one when you get into a hotel room, you just crank that bad boy way the heck down? And, close the shades and get after it. Get some good sleep like I was able to do last week in Las Vegas. Be the same deal this week in Houston, where their site is NRG Stadium. Can the Jaguars win 2 consecutive road football games? The line is flipped. We're going to check in with the Philly Godfather with that in 32 minutes. Okay, it is now Jacksonville, a 1.5-point favorite. The total, 37.5. Again, it looks so incredibly easy. That's the way I felt last week with the game in Vegas. And you had a 6-3 halftime score. Looked like it was virtually a lock. Nothing is in the world of gambling. And, of course, an extra 10 minutes, but the game did go over with Jacksonville winning it 30-29. All right, so it's good to have you with us. We got a ton to do over the next couple of hours. Did an interview earlier today in Houston. They think they can win this game. As a matter of fact, the way that this has been presented, this is really their final opportunity. They get knocked out here. I mean, it's going to be so hard for Houston to come back. It's hard enough to make it to the playoffs if you go 0-2. Houston went 0-3. Now, they've won 3 out of their last 5, but with a record of 3-5, you go to 3-6 on Sunday, and the Jaguars go to 6-3. We'll see what happens earlier in the morning. It's Berlin, it's Germany, and it appears that the Colts, as we do know, are human after losing a week ago. I've said this now for probably 4 consecutive weeks because it's the truth in my opinion. The Atlanta Falcons are the most difficult team in the NFL to try to figure out. If I was a bettor, and I'm not, as far as you know, I would never touch Atlanta. I would just absolutely, it's... trying to think of a drink I'm not a big fan of. I used to be Scotch, but I've kind of developed a flavor for Scotch later in life. So I guess that would be bad. Let's see if I can think of a food I don't like. No?
It's almost like a woman when you see her at the bar constantly and you have no idea if she's in a good mood or bad mood, like on a week-to-week basis.
See, I haven't been running and ripping, though, in 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, married, and there's a little bit of time during the divorce and all of that. But that's good. I was thinking of drinks or food, and it doesn't apply to me because basically I'll eat or drink whatever you do put in front of me, okay? I think it's as simple as that. But we will see. Anyway, Atlanta, a very hard team to figure out. Indy favored by a touchdown, maybe a smidge under at 6.5 points. And then they have the bye. Be great if they could go to 7-3. Jacksonville wins, goes to 6-3. Of course, after 5 weeks off, I expect it to be electric here in a week. Win or lose, I think that is going to be really the situation. And again, for Jacksonville, you're trying to sweep a franchise. You haven't done that since 2017. You have a real good opportunity. We're going to talk about all the injuries. We're going to talk about all the problems. But as far as I am, if you are in this situation, narrow-minded, okay? Trevor Lawrence, Davis Mills. Trevor Lawrence. It's simple. This is a game that the Jaguars absolutely must win. They are a better team. Now, this is a really good defense in Houston. They are struggling to run the football. It also looks like when you look at their offense with Davis Mills in running the ball, this is amazing. First off, it looks like Titus Howard may not be able to go, their right tackle. He continues to be in the concussion protocol, and I'll take you through the injury situation a little bit later on in the show. The best news today for Jacksonville is Diami Brown has gone from limited on Wednesday to full on Thursday. The same 4 guys who did not work yesterday didn't work again today. So that's alarming. That includes Jordan Lewis, Ezra Cleveland, and Brian Thomas Jr. But the last 8 games that the Jaguars have played, when they take on top 10 rushing defenses, they've lost. They've lost each and every one of those 8 games. And, we really talked last night a great deal about Houston's defense. They're number 1 in scoring defense. They're number 1 in total defense. They're number 6 in rush defense. And they're number 4 in pass defense. Frightening. As bad as they are, 3 and 5, they are really outstanding on that side of the ball. So now you go to Texas, right? And you look at the Houston Texans. Same number, just 1 less. The Texans have lost their last 7 games against top 10 rushing defenses. The Jaguars right now, statistically speaking, are outstanding against the run. They totally took Vegas out of that a week ago and made Geno Smith one-dimensional. Right now, the Jags are 3rd in pro football. They allow 86.9 yards a game. We got into this a little bit yesterday. Houston just could not run the ball. C.J. Stroud went out. It was all about dinking and dunking the football with Davis Mills. You look at what they tried to do. They didn't abandon it. They tried to make it work. It just didn't. 28 rushes a week ago, 77 yards, an average of 2.8. Nick Chubb, 11 for 34. Woody Marks, 10 of 27. Woody Marks apparently is one of the guys out there that is pretty electrifying, although he's not 100%. No one really is right now for the Houston Texans. So we got a ton planned here over the next couple of hours. Going to be certainly a lot of fun. Boy, the story with Marshawn Kneeland is just terrifying. I mean, just awful. And I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know much about him. I know he fell on that fumble on Monday night after the block punt. There's all sorts of stuff that is coming out. I feel a little uncomfortable about mentioning it until it is confirmed, but apparently he took his own life at the age of 24, a self-inflicted gun wound. Now we're starting to hear mental health, and it's just so sad, man. A 24-year-old, I can't imagine what the Cowboys are going through, and family and friends. This is another example of, someone going way, way, way too early. And, I was thinking about it today, just how difficult it is for young people, young men, young women, to be accepted, to be successful, no matter what it is. And thank God I didn't grow up during the time of social media. I mean, there was a point that if you were getting after it with someone, or they were calling you this and you were calling you that, or even if you were going to throw hands, that ended on Friday. And you didn't do anything again until you got back to school on Monday. The weekend went by, and I was always very busy playing athletics. But you understand my point. With social media now, this is constant. This is 24 hours a day. If someone is on you, and I often kid about the mean streets of Twitter, because I don't take things personally, right? Some do. And I think this absolutely is a part of why we are seeing stuff like this. So I'm not going to tell your kids to stay off social media. I mean, who am I to tell you that? But I've seen situations where it has affected young people in junior high, high school, maybe not as much after high school. I would like to say you begin to mature a little bit once you get into college. You must see this an awful lot at your high school with social
100%.
media and stuff like that. I mean, it can ruin days.
Oh, it's yeah, and we're the only school in the county that's a middle school and a high school, so it's well, yeah, I see a lot of it.
It's not for everyone, and you know, I'm not saying that's the reason why this happened. I'm saying just in general. You know, the NFL has really got to look at this. The NFL is going to expand. The NFL is going to play more football games. You know, I kind of lost my mind the other night talking about the gimmick that the NFL has become in a lot of situations. The kick rule is just awful. It's beyond stupid. They never should have moved back the PATs. Now they're going to introduce in a year or two, after your defense is out on the field and exhausted, giving the offense, after they score, another opportunity instead of an onside kick to complete either a 4th and 15. I think that's going to be the number. It may be 4th and 25. I think it's 4th and 15. But it's just stupid, right? I mean, it shouldn't be a part of the NFL. The NFL doesn't need these type of gimmicks. Yet that's going to be put into play. And they're going to slip in an 18th regular season game. I want it. You want it. The consumer, everyone wants it. Are they taking it seriously enough when you see CTE and constant concussions? Look at the situation here. Diami Brown, a concussion. CJ Stroud, out. A concussion. Their starting right tackle in Houston, Titus Howard, may not be able to go. A concussion. If you were to poll NFL players, my guess is way over 90% of the players would take a concussion over a torn ACL. A torn ACL is going to set you back for a year. It's going to be rehabilitation. It's going to be an absolute grind to get back where you once were. A concussion literally scrambles your brain. And my guess is that more than 90% of big-time college football players, and certainly in the NFL, would say, that's all right. I'll sacrifice that. Maybe I miss a week. I'll be back for another game. Sad. It is. But I really think that is a pretty truthful number. So just an awful story today. I hate this. Didn't know much about Marshawn Kneeland at all, but certainly caught my attention, and I know it got yours early this morning. All right, Shmunez Vision. Maybe you get headaches, all right? And then that could be something as simple as an allergy. It could be far more significant. It could be a bad prescription where you need an update. Who knows? It could be very severe. Such things as cataract surgery, right? And I wouldn't call that severe. It's very fixable. There's no question about it. But you want to go to the best. You want to go to Shmunez Vision and look at 37 years worth of experience with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. Not only will they be the individuals who perform the surgery, they'll also take you through your examination and answer each and every one of your questions. And that is especially important. Check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram. Get the very latest as far as testimonials at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're jam-packed. Let's get into the injury situation, give you the latest today coming out of Houston, as well as right here in Duval. The Philly Godfather joins us at 6:34. So we are jam-packed. Dylan Denmark is here. My name is Rick Ballou with you tonight till 8 o'clock.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
Football season is here, and our hometown team isn't the only one ready to stack up the wins. At Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi, you score big every time you shop with us. Thousands of vehicles, no flags, no fumbles, just hassle-free car buying and big wins with lifetime warranties, lifetime oil changes, and lifetime customer service. Plus, our wow pricing lets you celebrate a touchdown of savings. Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi. We're here to wow you.
Watch football this season in downtown Duval at Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. 2 floors, 15 TVs, a giant projector, 80 self-pour taps of ice-cold craft beer, wine and cocktails, plus a full bar. Wings, burgers, and more, and pizza delivered to your table from Pizza Dynamo. Downtown at Laura and Forsyth. Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. A beer festival every day.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about buying better quality diamonds, but is there any way to start with a smaller diamond and use it to trade up to a larger diamond later on?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because our founder, H.F. Underwood, popularized growing your diamond here in Jacksonville about 50 years ago, and it's something we still do today. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring or solitaire diamond pendant or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any larger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal. We do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're trading up by only $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. There have been literally thousands of people in the Jacksonville area who have taken advantage of our policy, and Underwood still grows a lot of diamonds for a lot of people.
Underwood, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Cool air and clean air. Getting out from under that Florida sun and cooling off inside is where Florida Home AC shines. Think about it. You spend a lot of time indoors, and air quality is crucial to your health and comfort. Pollutants like dust, pollen, germs, and allergens can build up, affecting your well-being. Florida Home is dedicated to enhancing your indoor experience with superior air quality solutions like whole home air purification systems. Find out by logging on to FloridaHomeAC.com or call 777-4300.
The best golfing weather of the year is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club welcomes you to play your next round at our beautiful course. We promise you'll enjoy the dramatic elevation changes and our unique Arnold Palmer design. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval Drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for a limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Whit Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
0976 says, come on, Ballou. I went away to college just like you did. We both know there's plenty of immaturity there. And I participated in a lot of it. So did I. No doubt. I guess my point is, though, you know, high school was like, what, up at 6:30, school from 7:10 to 1:50. Then you play sports. And if you're giving it to someone or they're giving it to you, That's day after day after day in high school. Where in college, I mean, you don't have the same classes time and again with someone. Maybe it's a roommate, or if you live in a quad or whatever it is. Yeah, but I just can't imagine that it's anywhere near the same. Maybe wrong. Again, I don't know. I didn't live it, but I would think that most of it is around high school. That would be just my opinion. And again, I could absolutely clearly be wrong. Here's where I'm not wrong. If you've been injured in a car accident, personally injured, you need to contact Rick Alexander at the Alexander Law Practice. Now, here's the most important part of this. You may think you don't have an answer. You may think there's nowhere you can go. Everything from being physically injured, okay, broken bones, whatever the situation is, your car totaled. These are the type of questions you ask Rick Alexander at the Alexander Law Practice, all right? It's a free consultation. Set it up, $400-$600. What you're going to get is an immediate callback, and you are also going to get a creative, individual, really caring situation with Rick Alexander to look at your case, present your case, and then take it from there. And you never will pay out of pocket. That is so huge, okay? If you're up against it financially, you will never pay. All right? When things get settled at the end, and it hopefully is very prosperous for you, then you can settle up at that point. So go to alexanderlawpractice.com, or for a free consultation, call 400-6600. That is the very latest there at Alexander Law Practice. All right. Teams are just beaten up. Jacksonville today got some good news. Let's begin with that, right? The concussion for Diami Brown, now a full participant, so it's looking like he is going to play. Jacoby Myers is here. I think he's going to be somewhat limited, playing the F position, playing the slot. What is his route tree going to look like? Obviously, having Edgar Bennett there is huge because Bennett was with him the last couple of seasons in Vegas. But, you know, basically right now, you've got Austin Trammell, you've got Parker Washington, you've got Diami Brown. Can we even say that he's 100% after coming off of a concussion? And then Jacoby Myers. So that's the way I look at it. Now, a couple of other wide receivers. Let's stay with the good first before we get to the bad. Day 2 for Tim Patrick with his groin, a full participant. Not spotted today on the practice field over at the Miller Electric Center for a second consecutive day. Starting offensive players, including Brian Thomas Jr., Ezra Cleveland. It's an ankle for Thomas. It's a knee and an ankle for Cleveland. Also, you know, a backup tight end, Quentin Morris, is growing. That has improved significantly. Full both Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, other guys who did not practice today on the defense, Jordan Lewis, another DMP. Boy, that's big. I mean, the dinking and the dunking, I really don't expect Davis Mills to throw the football deep downfield. The last time they played, Jacksonville in the game was fairly successful. They had 2 sacks in the contest. They also had 6 quarterback hits against C.J. Stroud. And again, this is a team that has allowed 19 sacks. Jacksonville's allowed 21 sacks. So they are going to be without, again, Titus Howard. We mentioned that a little bit earlier today for Houston. So will there be an opportunity to get at the quarterback? Dennis Gardeck, limited both days. We'll see if he is available. Devon Hamilton with a back has been limited both days. Again, Trayvon Walker with the cast, with the club. He's not even on here because he practices full out, you know, and that's been the case for the last couple of weeks. But man, Marvin Jones just got on me about my tweet. It was and he's laughing about it on Twitter. See, I try to have fun on Twitter, but some people may not take it as fun. some people may take it seriously, and that's never really my intent. It's usually, pun intended, trying to have a little bit of fun with it, but it also absolutely defines what I believe is the truth. And this is Marvin Jones, the great All-American at Florida State, who just hit me up. I said this a little bit earlier today, okay? After Mike Norvell has lost a big-time recruit last night, lost a big-time recruit today, lost the legacy today in Timmons. I said, and I quote, Mike Norvell could have $500 stapled to his forehead in a gentleman's club and not recruit a stripper. That's true. Mike Norvell cannot recruit, bottom line. And just about everyone takes this as a joke and laughs, but others, Marvin Jones laughed, okay, but others, think it's extreme. Well, maybe the streets of Twitter are not for you. If you find that offensive, if you can't understand that I'm having some fun at his expense because he sucks as a recruiter, all right, that's it. End of story. Anyway, wanted to share that with you. Getting a lot of feedback on it. Man, and we could send him over here to Wackos with $500. You know what I mean?
Man, one of the
stable right to his head, and those strippers would be like, "That's Mike Norvell. I'm going in a different direction."
One of the kids, he turns 18 today. One of the kids I coach, and I'm like, "You going to the strip club?" Just playing around. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We're going to the strip club." Me and my older brother. I'm like, "Oh, jeez,
man,
I'm getting that old."
Wyatt Milam added to the injury report today with a knee. He was limited. A little bit of talk that maybe he is the left guard. Are they going to go with Cole Van Lannon? Are they going to go back to Chuma Edoga? If, obviously, Ezra Cleveland cannot play here. All right, you had 10 players yesterday in Houston who did not participate. There were a few upgrades today to limited that include the very dominant defensive end, Will Anderson, Danico Autry, same deal. Nick Chubb upgraded to limited a little bit earlier today. And I guess that's it at this particular time as far as guys who did change as far as their designation on the injury report. Okay, we're going to talk some gambling. That may be offensive to you. We don't know why. Okay, I mean, most of America loves it. Most of America plays. What I see today, more gambling this past year on sporting events than concerts, tickets sold to games. There were a few other things. There might have been theme parks. I mean, everything you can think of combined didn't even come close to the amount of money that is being spent yearly on sports gambling. So let's give you the very latest. Florida State goes to Clemson. Florida goes to Kentucky. The Buccaneers host the Patriots, and the Jaguars go to Houston. The Philly Godfather joins us on the other side.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a dandy today.
He's entered. Open the door to the Jags locker room to bring you exclusive insights and interviews on 1010XL.
This just
in the locker room with Hayes Carlyon. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Your favorite band live, first chord hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah, what thrill beats them all?
It's the thrill of the win. I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
This is Nye Lawrence Stample, national champion and owner of NLS Cleaning. We're your exterior cleaning experts for pressure washing, gutters, windows, and paper sealing. This event season, get your home or business ready to go before guests arrive. NLS Cleaning, 708-8802.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I called you about the ductwork in my attic this summer, and you totally blew me off.
I did.
My airflow is too low and my bills are too high.
I know.
There's stains on my ceiling tiles and sweating around the vents, and the mice have chewed so many holes in the ducts, I think they're getting more AC than I am.
I know.
Then how could you let me suffer all summer, Jason?
Because summer is the one time of year I just can't send my technician into someone's steaming hot attic. They'd kill me. Ductwork is hot, cramped work at the best of times. Lucky for you, those best of times are in November.
You mean like now?
Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair your old, damaged, or just plain sketchy ductwork right now when it's not too hot and not too cold.
And none of your technicians will kill you.
It's a win-win.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Into the month of November, I gather it's starting to get chilly in Philly. Well, let's bring in the man. He is now a best-selling author. It's called Booked. It's a book that you cannot put down. You can end up reading it in just a couple of days. It's that good. And, of course, he joins us here week after week after week, and he has done so for years. He is the Philly Godfather. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on. But the weather's getting crispy up here in Philadelphia. Dropped about 20 degrees today. But thank God we're on fire in the NFL and college football, so we're warming up real nice.
Yeah, you've been on. Absolutely. You've had some great weekends, no question about that. All right, let's get after these games. But before we do, tell our listening audience how they can get your book. It's called Booked.
Yeah, you can go to phillybooked.com. I'll send you an autographed copy. It'll take 3 to 7 business days. You go to Amazon, ship to order. You'll get it the next day, but it won't be signed.
How's that movie coming along?
We're working on it. We got big executives coming through in a couple of weeks, and the screenplay's done. Obviously, that'll change around. You know, these guys, these big wigs, they always want to change stuff around. But, yeah, we're working on it, and hopefully we get to the finish line.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely incredible. All right, let's take a look at both Florida State and Florida. They're on the road this weekend. A couple of teams that have really disappointed. Florida goes to Kentucky. What do you make of this one, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, the line opened up Florida -3.5. Since then, it's ticked down to 3 at several sports books. The total's been a little volatile, opening up at 45, dipping to 43, and it's bouncing back up to 44.5 and 45 today. Kind of tough game to handicap for me. Both teams sit outside the top 100 in turnover margin, and Florida's offense has been hit with a bunch of injuries. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but the value looks to be on Kentucky here, catching 3.5 points at home. The Wildcats, with some momentum after that 10-3 win at Auburn. And Florida might have emptied the tank in last week's close loss to Georgia. And like I said, a little banked up heading into Lexington. It's kind of like a little sneaky spot for Kentucky. Florida's next 3 opponents are Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. They're all, tough. They're all heavyweights. So kind of like the Wildcats here at +3.5.
All right, there you have it. Kentucky +3.5 against the University of Florida. Death Valley, Clemson, always a very difficult place to play. These teams this year have left a lot to be desired. What do you make of Florida State going to Clemson at night?
Yeah, Clemson's anywhere from a 1.5 to 2-point favorite. Total seems kind of high to me, 56.5. As of right now, the betting public is all over Florida State early. Bet splits in U.S. and offshore markets, right around 70% of the action is on the Seminoles. The price on the game also moves the full point since the opener of 2.5, down to 1.5 at some shops right now. I'm trying to find a reason to back Clemson here because I hate being on the public side, but it's kind of hard to find one. I mean, Clemson ranks 112th in turnover margin offensively. They rank 18 spots lower than Florida State in yards per play, despite playing the weaker opponents on the season. And investing in Clemson has been a nightmare this year. They're just 2-6 against the spread. If you look at who they beat, North Carolina and Boston College, and those two teams rank near the bottom in almost every offensive category. They're 4-13 on the season. So in their last 6 games, they've had 2 wins. I kind of like Florida State here. As long as they show up, they should cover the spread and win the game outright.
Ooh, interesting. All right, a couple of teams that are struggling, a couple of teams that have coaches on the hot seat. I don't believe that should be the case with Dabo Swinney, but nonetheless, that is what is going on. Philly Godfather, tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you on Twitter and your website.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Philly Godfather, and the website is thephillygodfather.com.
Never would have thought, going into the year that a Drake May-Baker Mayfield matchup would have MVP type of implications. They do. What do you make of this one? The Bucs host the Pats.
Yeah, Drake May's got the 3rd best odds to win the MVP. And the Patriots are the healthier team here. But I kind of like the Buccaneers on the money line and at anything under a field goal. They're coming off extra rest. And after 5 straight wins, I think the Pats are a little overvalued in the market, in my opinion. I mean, they're catching under a field goal against the Buccaneers team at home that ranks 8 spots higher defensively and sits 4th overall in turnover differential in the season. The Buccaneers pass rush is the best the Patriots will have faced up to this point of the season. And you look at that offensive line for New England, they rank 29th in the NFL in sacks allowed per game. So I'm expecting that front line of Tampa Bay to get to them. Maybe cause some mistakes and disrupt that Patriots offensive game plan just enough to win the game and cover the spread. I like the Buccaneers here, and if you want to be a little dangerous, you want to little dangerously bet them on the alternate line -5.5, plus 150.
All right, there you go. Let's wrap it up with the Jaguars. Consecutive road games, big win in overtime in Las Vegas. Can they do the same thing here against the Houston Texans?
I'm really not rushing to the window to invest in Davis Mills and this Texans team here. You look at what they did last week with Mills at quarterback. I mean, that Texans offense wasn't able to score a touchdown, and they punted 6 consecutive times in the second half of the game against the Broncos. So a little lethargic for me. But with that said, I'm not rushing to bet the Jags as 1.5-point road favorites against one of the best defenses in the NFL either. I mean, this one is tough to handicap. Both teams are banked up heading into Sunday. The Jags defense has had some issues getting to opposing quarterbacks all year. I think they rank near the bottom of the league in sacks per game. Both offenses have struggled as well. They're ranked 21st and 22nd in yards per play. The Texans are the hungrier team with 2 fewer wins on the season. They're catching points at home it seems like every week is a must-win for this Texans team. So they're kind of in playoff mode already. They can't afford another loss. I haven't bet it yet. I kind of lean Texans plus 1.5. But I think you're better off putting them in the teams. They're catching 8.5 points. Maybe tie them in with the Eagles plus 8.5 against Green Bay. This game is going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire, and it probably stays under that posted total of like 38.
No. Yeah, it looks like the under. I thought it would be the under a week ago, 6-3 at half, and then things just went completely nuts in the second half in Las Vegas plus overtime. All right, Philly Godfather, once again, for our listeners, how can they get your book?
You go to phillybooked.com, or you go to Amazon, ship to order, be out the next day.
All right, and to catch up with you on social media, what's the best way?
Yeah, I give it a lot of free information on Twitter. You can follow me on at Philly Godfather, and the website is thephillygodfather.com.
Best of luck with all your plays.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes, Philly Godfather. These are some tough games. I mean, every one of them is difficult. I've laid it out there all week that I did the exact same thing a week ago. I made the pick early. I picked Jacksonville at Las Vegas early. Did the same thing here. And my simple reasoning is Davis Mills. Davis Mills, Trevor Lawrence. And I don't care what the situation is. If they lose this game, you know who the blame's going to go on. It's going to go on Trevor Lawrence.
100%.
It doesn't even matter what the situation is. So you just, you hope that they show up and they just pound them in the ditch. We've talked all week about how good Houston really is defensively. I think Jacksonville's a better football team. I think Jacksonville's got an awful lot hanging here on the line. They win this game. Just imagine what it's going to be like next week here against the Chargers. That is going to be an incredible environment. I really do like Jacksonville to win this game. Boy, I don't care how much money you gave me. I would not bet on Florida State Clemson. I have zilch as far as a feeling on that game. Florida, Kentucky, kind of the same deal. Florida left it on the field last week. I took a lot of heat from Georgia fans by saying, I watched the game on a plane, on a phone, or a laptop, with someone sitting next to me with his wife, and it looked to me like Florida played better than Kentucky. Just the Kirby Smart factor really came in, and Georgia got calls, including the Sturdivant non-catch. I think if that was ruled the catch, it probably would have stayed a catch. That was going to be a ruling that you were going to end up staying with what the officials called. But who knows? And then on top of that, I actually want to get into this a little bit with both Dabo Swinney and the situation with Florida's DJ Lagway. Whether you like it or not, it's real. And it's today's football. I'm actually surprised that a lot of folks out there do not actually understand or accept what is going on. Hey, do you know what the Blue Crab House? Let me do you a solid right now. How does this sound? We all love the holidays, right? I mean, what's there not to love? Cocktails, food, family, the mother-in-law stays for an extra week. I mean, what's there not to love about the holidays? Well, maybe shopping. Maybe a gift idea. I got you covered. Blue Crab House. You spend $50, you're going to get an additional $15 gift card as well. $65 of value for only $50. And it's as simple as that, okay? Dollar oysters on Wednesday. Best crabs you'll get anywhere. Outstanding seafood. And it's right off San Jose on Julington Creek Road. So if you're looking for something, you don't want to, go browsing and shopping. No, bam. Blue Crab House. Gift certificates. You spend $50, you get an additional $15. So $65 there for friends and what have you at the Blue Crab House. All right, we got a ton to do. Good to have you with us. My name is Rick Ballou alongside Dylan Denmark.
Number 9 opens up his teal and black bag of memories.
Go Googans! Let's go Googans!
David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Mondays on 1010XL. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Toto is so under-respected, yet well-rounded. There's pop, there's soft rock, there's funk, there's a little bit of some blues, some jazz. Yeah, you'll even hear them on hard rock, classic rock radio stations. Not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, why would you put them in when you can put in Cyndi Lauper? Actually, Susan Tedeschi said over the weekend that she believes Cyndi Lauper should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So who am I to question her when it comes to knowledge? What do you have over there?
I got a pair of tickets to see this band live at St. Augustine Amphitheater.
What a
March
venue.
2nd.
Wow.
Tickets on sale 10 a.m. Friday, November 7th. So that is tomorrow at AXS.com.
I just went to Tedeschi Trucks at the St. Aug Amp. What a just phenomenal place to see a concert, especially if you can get down the pit. That is really good. I've never seen Toto. I may go to this March 2nd. Do we know what day of the week that is? I mean, that's pre-NCAA tournament. Hopefully it's pre-Players Championship.
It's a Monday.
Oof. Okay. All right, let's go with this. We'll give out these 2 tickets. In the United States only, what was Toto's only number 1 hit? You need to tell Dylan Denmark that. 641-1010. First caller gets in. You get a couple of tickets for this show in early March. Should be a lot of fun. These guys, you know, they got some soft ballads, if you will. I'll Be Over You. I Won't Hold Back. Obviously, those were not the number 1 song here in the United States of America. But they definitely were big-time hits for the band Toto. Okay, we're getting ready for our second hour. We are going to fill it up with you and give you an opportunity to voice your opinion on, you know, anything right now that is going on in college football and certainly with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Quick thought on Dabo Swinney, who exploded at the officiating. For starters, let me say this. I like Dabo Swinney. Yeah, I get with him basically yearly. I didn't cover the Atlantic Coast Conference this past year in Carolina, but I have for several years, and I always enjoy my conversation with Dabo Swinney. I never talked to him about Clemson. I talked to him always about Trevor Lawrence and maybe to some extent Travis Etienne. But I think he's been a baby this year. I think he's whined and cried about, you know, you can fire me, this and that. I'll go other places to coach. I do think there should be a little bit more accountability. But what he said as far as the officials this week, and it cost him 10 large, was spot on. And this is something else that absolutely needs to change, not only in pro football, but in college football as well. Number 1, refs need to be full-time. Number 2, they have to be more accountable. They are protected. And his words are, officials, they are real people too. And he brought up gambling. No matter where you go, you cannot avoid gambling. Okay? It's here. It's in our lap. Whether you support it or whether you just absolutely are disgusted by it, it's there. And it applies everywhere. Okay? I'm not saying that he called out the possibility of a fix, but he put it on the table that they are human beings. I think where we're at is this. It's time to make at least the lead official, or if not, someone else on his crew that made a game-deciding decision. Okay? They should face a penalty when they are wrong. They should have to talk to members of the media after a game. In a lot of situations where there is controversy, there will be one pool reporter, usually a very good individual who knows a lot about what's going on, but still, every reporter thinks differently. Every talk show host thinks differently. Every journalist, if I can still say that word, thinks differently. They're going to have different questions and they want different answers. They are not held accountable, officials, right now. That has to change. There's too much money involved with this. And hopefully it will. Hopefully it's the case in the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, NFL, and college football. Throw college hoops in there as well if you want. So I do give credit to Dabo Sweeney for saying that. I mean, Mike Norvell had... I don't complain about the refs when it's my team because you just sound like a baby, right? But Sawchuk was in, for crying out loud. I mean, Stevie Wonder could have seen that. He crossed the goal line at Stanford. It was a touchdown. All right, the 2-point conversion with Dominic Robinson Jr., that's debatable. But Norvell had opportunities to get fined, to lay himself out there for his team, and he did not. So that was disappointing, at least in my opinion. All right, let's get ready for hour number 2. Do we have a winner?
Yes,
Toto?
Mr. Ryan. Congratulations to him.
And the winner was Africa. Yeah, I thought it might have been Rosanna, but it is actually Africa, the only number 1 hit by Toto right here in the United States of America.
Florida Gators football.
All the way to the goal line.
The Gators crawl on the bluegrass.
Touchdown, Gators.
Florida, Kentucky, Saturday at 7:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010 XL.
Football season is here, and our hometown team isn't the only one ready to stack up the wins. At Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi, you score big every time you shop with us. Thousands of vehicles, no flags, no fumbles, just hassle-free car buying and big wins with lifetime warranties, lifetime oil changes, and lifetime customer service. Plus, our wow pricing lets you celebrate a touchdown of savings. Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi. We're here to wow you.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialist for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialist take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 6, 1869, Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the first ever college football game.
Poker players, the World Poker Tour is back at Best Bet Jacksonville, October 30th to November 18th, and the guarantees are massive. Event 1 brings a $200,000 guarantee. Event 6 has a $300,000 guarantee, and the main event has an enormous $1 million guarantee. With 14 tournaments, your chances of winning big have never been better. Want in on the action? WPT satellites are already playing out. Don't get left out. Head to bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all.
Winter and spring registration is already cranking up at I-9 Sports, and if you have kids ages 3 to 17, I-9 Sports is inviting you to get them on the field or in the gym with great sports like girls flag football. Plenty of places to play like Oakley, Fleming Island, UNF, Fletcher, and Creekside. Log on to i9sports.com and see all the sports they have to offer across the First Coast. In Duval, Clay, and St. John's. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Registration open right now for winter and spring sports at i9sports.com.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I was going to say this would be great first date music for you young bucks out there, 20-somethings, but this song came out in like the early 1980s.
Yeah. We listen to Cardi B and all these old strippers that are now rappers.
Yeah. It would be like me growing up and going to see, being recommended to go see an Everly Brothers concert or Connie Francis or something like that. We try to educate or at least give an opinion, but we cannot do that. In Vegas, where I stayed at Circa, you stayed there as well. They have what's the name? Is it Fremont? The original? Yeah. They had this ladies band that was kind of dressed up like Kiss. They had the big clogs and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you something. They got after it. They were playing the Blondie and they were playing Heart and stuff like that. But really good, musicians. I love live music. I wish there was a little bit more here in town. There's just not. I'm a big fan of Julia Gulia, but I'm typically the oldest one at their shows, unless I bring some knucklehead buddies along with me. I just wish there was more, and I get it, it's hard in certain cities. I mean, the population is immense in places like Las Vegas. But, when I was in Chicago for those 7 years, man, there was always live entertainment. It didn't matter what night of the week. You could always find something good.
Yeah, I only know of a couple spots, like when you were talking about it, only a couple spots in town that have live music now.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to the beach, you can find a spot at the, the Irish pub, or there's a spot by my house on the west side. Other than that, there's a couple other spots, but there's not many.
No, I love going to Trade Winds out in St. Augustine, and there's a few others, but, during the off season, I play golf one day and I go to the beach with my GF on the other day. And typically it's a Saturday round. It's a Sunday recovery after the round, which includes the beach. And then we'll pop off somewhere, whether we go the Amelia Island route or the St. Augustine route into Matanzas. You come back on Sundays, man, by 6 o'clock, everything's, as far as live entertainment's gone.
Yeah, it feels like by the time Sunday afternoon hits, everybody's ready for Monday.
No. All right. Mark Long says Vernell Brown III, questionable. Aiden Mizell, questionable. Duke Clark, questionable. We do know that Wilson III is out. That was reported earlier in the week. Also, Dallas Wilson is out, and Trayon Webb is out. I noticed that DJ Lagway took a lot of crap for the way he handled the post-game celebration, and I'll ask you if it was correct, because nowadays you don't know what is and what is AI and what is fake, but apparently his dad tweeted, was that real or was that fake?
Yeah, it was real.
Okay.
It was real.
I want to ask you about it. What this is right here with DJ Lagway is what you've always got in the NFL. Okay? I mean, I've been screaming about this for over 30 years. It doesn't matter what the situation is in pro football. You put in your 60 minutes, and it's like Cinemax at the 50-yard line after the game. I mean, it is unbelievable. It's smiles. It's grabbing one another. It's as if I put in 110%, I won, or I put in 110%, I lost. And I'm going to say hi to the people I know, went to college with, played with. And this is why it has always been so hard for me to express to you that wins and losses mean more to you than it does to them. And that's the greatest example. Now this applies in college. You have the NIL. They're making a ton of money. They go from team to team to team. How can you criticize DJ Lagway or anyone else if he sits at a podium and picks Florida, yet Florida State hat is there, Miami's hat is there, Alabama's hat is there, and he actually and Lagway's not the best analogy or the best example, but there have been so many through the decades, through the year. They are really considering the biggest rivals of Florida. Now, you as a fan, you have your mind made up. You know, it's live or die. But for these kids, they honestly do not know where they're going to go to school, and they change their commitments all the time. You cannot expect them to have the same feeling that you do as a lifelong fan. And they go to these, they go to these 7-on-7s, and they go and they train at different places. So I know Gator fans, or some of you, were upset that DJ Lagway actually had a smile on his face. Well, I'll tell you what. Watch the 50-yard line watch it after tonight's game between Vegas and Denver. Watch the 50-yard line at the end of the game.
This is the only thing, I'm not going to speak on the NFL, but I can tell you about kids today and fans when it comes to college football. Rivalries only exist between fans, and it's not between players, and they don't care. And you can say, oh, well, back in the day, and it used to, and when an adult that is over the old age of 40, and he or she says, back in the day, kids do not care anything about that.
It's so true. And there are so many examples of that. I wish someone could do the research and find out about all the flag planters that we saw during rivalry weekend, right? Including in Tallahassee last year. How many of those guys that were there for that celebration, planted the flag, or was next to the guy, are still on that team?
Oh, geez.
Or did they pack up and go somewhere else?
Yeah, probably less than half.
It's so hard on you, though. And I do. I despise this for you. Again, I'm never going to bite the hand that feeds me. I'm just never going to do it. But it's why I really am glad I grew up when I did, even though I'm older now. It'd be cool to be 20-something or whatever. But sports then, it just felt like it meant more. Free agency came about with Curt Flood. It came about with Spencer Haywood. Okay, we know all about that. But it wasn't at this extreme. And typically, if you're around my age, no matter what the sport was, guys stayed on the same team. And if there was a trade, it was typically somewhat of a shock. I mean, I'll never forget when the Boston Bruins traded Phil Esposito and Carol Vadnais in a trade for Brad Park, Jean Rattel, and then they had another trade which brought them Rick Middleton. When they moved Freddie Lynn to the then California Angels. It was like almost in tears. And now you see this stuff absolutely all the time. And look at Jacoby Myers. Him coming in 2 days ago was like, he's going to save the world. Jacoby Myers, he did the same thing a couple of weeks ago with Greg Newsome. That's today's sports. And it's tough to expect that these kids and professionals, and when you go college to pro, are going to feel anywhere near the way that you're going to feel. They're just not. I mean, it used to be about the front of the jersey. Nowadays, it's about the back of the jersey. It's about their livelihood. It's about getting paid. It's about doing what is best for them. And I don't blame them. That's where the games have gone. But it makes it that much harder for you fans.
Yeah, and a lot of the people, like I coach high school football, I have the last 4 years. Fans can't understand, okay, so you have high school football, playoffs are about to start, and these seniors, they're 18 years old. So that means they were born, 18 years ago. It was about 2007, 2008. So
which is nuts, which is just nuts.
Right. So anything before that, they care absolutely nothing about. And when you grow up with a phone and everything is immediate and what's the next thing, they don't care anything about beforehand. I'll tell you, we were talking to run back. I was talking with the coach. I said, I guarantee you this kid don't know who Fred Taylor is. I said, hey, Nashawn, you know who Fred Taylor is? He goes, nah, I have no idea who that is. And he's ran for 1,000 yards twice in the last 3 years. Insane running back. No idea who the greatest Jaguar, one of them.
Man, I used to ask my dad, who passed recently, to tell me stories, when he was in the Army and he watched Cassius Clay, Shadowbox, and Satchel Paige, who, did not play in Major League Baseball, but by many accounts is maybe arguably the greatest pitcher of all time. I would ask him all the time, who's the best running back you ever seen? Without hesitation, he would say it was Jim Brown. I wanted to know the answer to those questions, okay? You go, one of my favorite places in town, Showtime Sports Cards, right there on Phillips, okay? I talked to Richard Miller about this and others. It just blows me away that they'll have a series from like the 90s that you can buy the complete series for like $40. And these kids could care less. When I was collecting cards growing up, I wanted the Don Drysdales and the Hank Aarons and the Willie Mays and the Roberto. These kids have an opportunity to get the Kirby Pucketts, you just go on the Tony Gwynn's, the
Pete Rose,
Ken Griffey Jr.'s. They don't care.
No.
They would rather have a brand new Ohtani card than something that was made in the mid-'80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
It just blows me away.
And adults will, say, this is just my assumption. Like, I'm 27, and they'll think, like, me being 27 and someone that's 18 is, like, the same. Like, we grew up in completely different worlds. Like, I remember life before social media. I remember life before Instagram and Twitter and before, TikTok. A lot of these kids, that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember, I used to still take tests on paper.
Oh, yeah.
There's no more tests on paper anymore. It's all electronic.
Yeah.
Like, my little brother, who was born 7 years after me, you can only go to school with a laptop. I wasn't the case with me. Like, I went to school with textbooks and paper and folders. Not the case. And that's just, a 7-year difference.
I wonder if they care as much about teams.
No.
I wonder if they care as much about the Gators and the Knowles and the Jags. I mean, I see tons of kids at games, there with their moms and dads. But I wonder if a loss hurts them the way it hurts their mom and dad, or if a victory for them is as exhilarating as it is for the mom or dad. I don't know.
It's more of they follow the star and they'll just watch highlights.
Yeah, and fantasy doesn't help.
No.
Fantasy football doesn't help that side of it. If you're, what if you're on the other side? What if you have Nick Chubb this weekend, right? and maybe you didn't have a good game last week, but what if you have Chubb as one of your backs and he's got a chance to score and Houston goes ahead of Jacksonville, where if you're a lifelong Jaguars fan, you could care less about anything that happens in fantasy football that goes against your team.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then, just the kids that I coach, they don't watch any football at all. And that's how it is for a lot of sports. Like, you used to, whatever sport you play, you would watch the pros to learn, okay, I'll play linebacker. I can watch, whatever game is on Sunday and watch that linebacker play. It's not like that anymore. Like, I'll ask kids, I'll be like, you watching football this week? And they'll be like, I watched a couple of highlights. Or I watched Jeremiah Smith. I'm like, you didn't watch the game. You just you wanted to see him make a crazy catch and to say you watched the game. It's not the same.
It's like they're going through life with the Cliff Notes edition instead of really diving into everything. I'm not saying it's bad. It's the way that life has changed. There's so many other things that have changed as well. But, again, really the moral of the story is that's why I always say I do this show based on what I think the fans care about and what the fans want to hear. And it's hard to be a sports fan. It is. It's hard knowing that you care more than the players and the coaches.
Open the weekend early with Pre-Game Friday.
Anything you want to add to this?
Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day.
That's all I ever think about.
Pre-Game Friday.
Built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
It's your boy Big Sirs, All-Pro lineman, and your lemon pepper guy. Nothing screams game day like Wingstop. But get this, every Saturday and Sunday this football season, score big with Wingstop's special deal. Order a 75-piece wing pack online at wingstop.com or the Wingstop app using promo code JAX15. And that's $15 off. Carry out or delivery, it's your call. Use online promo JAX15 or $15 off a 75-piece wing pack. Fire up your game day order this weekend with Wingstop.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
When it comes to your favorite football team, John Osher is oh so sure to find the inside insight to keep you up to date. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. I love Hello Smooth Med Spa, my go-to for skin health and beauty. Their biggest event of the year is November 19th, National Botox Day. Huge deals, local vendors, and it benefits Make-A-Wish. Don't miss it. Visit hellosmooth.com for more details.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years. And our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
Duck Duck Rooter is a full-service plumbing company. They can handle any plumbing project, from clogged drains, water heater replacements, septic to city sewer conversions, backflow testing, lift stations, large-scale repipe jobs. They really do it all. Duck Duck Rooter has highly skilled technicians that will solve your problem right the first time. Check out their reviews on Google and give them a call, servicing both commercial and residential customers.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If
If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Toto really hitting home, although I look on with our crazies on YouTube at 1010XL Into the Night. Philip says, hey, Dylan, you need some acid. You need to listen to the 17-minute song of Inagata da Vida. You'll See God. That is a phenomenal song written by, of course, Iron Butterfly. Big fan of that song. Acid and music. I don't know.
Hard pass. I might
Man.
drink and listen to music, but ain't no drugs for me.
Look at all this. Listen, I appreciate any feedback that we get. Text line 641-1010 brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And as well, I just love the folks on the YouTube, 1010XL Into the Night. Rick said earlier, most players would probably choose to get a concussion or tear of an ACL. It's better for their career, but worse long-term. Sad. A reality makes you appreciate the game a little bit more. That's from John Nelson. It's true. It is. I don't think you would find many out there who would argue with that point. They know that it is a short livelihood. It's a short opportunity to make money. And not everyone after their playing career is fortunate enough to get a job in broadcasting or get a job as a coach. Because those are where, for the most part, where the money can come. And like everything else, the money is different depending on how successful you end up being. But if not, you're going into the real life. That's a sad way about it, but I totally agree with that. Hey, this Antonio Brown situation is absolutely horrifying. He's in Dubai. He was arrested on an attempted murder charge going back to a shooting after a celebrity boxing event in Miami. 37 years of age, taken into custody today. So he has been arrested on attempted murder. This guy can't avoid trouble. It's legitimately one thing after another. And the charges on him have been, not just the same. There are so many different things, so many different levels to what Antonio Brown. You talk about self-destruction.
Yeah, since really he left the Steelers, he's went down a dark path. And I remember this boxing event happening, and what I guess you call it escalation that went down after the fact. But then it kind of went away, and I guess he was in Dubai, and they finally got him, and they're gonna arrest him in Miami. It looks like.
Did he barricade himself in a house and all the police officers were there? Well, here's a little bit of a look at what he's been involved in, okay? He's been accused of battery of a moving truck driver, several domestic violence charges, failure to pay child support and other incidents. And then, of course, during 2021, just from the middle of the game, he threw his shoulder pads into the stands and ran off the field.
Yeah.
Man, a Hall of Fame football player, too.
And that doesn't even include when he went on Instagram Live, and I think, the police were trying to take his kids, and he's, cursing at the police. It's geez, that's so bad, man. That's just terrible.
Hate this. Yeah, but I'm not surprised, okay? Absolutely. I am not. 8334. Try arguing with these kids on Twitter. They are already telling me that Travis Hunter will be in the conversation of top 5 wide receivers by the end of the year. I said some nice catches. Yeah. Listen, arguing with anyone on Twitter, you very rarely walk out of there with your hand raised. It's vicious, and you got to take it for what it is. Very few admit that they're wrong on Twitter, even after the fact. So I kind of take it with a grain of salt. I use it extensively for sports. That's basically it. When the fill starts getting thrown at me, I may laugh a little bit or even respond. But for the most part, I know just to check out. You're not going to win on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. Just speaking for people like in our industry, why people don't use Twitter as just a megaphone and not a place for a conversation. Like, that's what you put out earlier. Like, you were trying to have a laugh and be, jokeful. But somebody could see that in a completely different context and think you're, like, completely serious about, whatever it is.
Yeah, they can be gullible. Yeah. I mean, 99% of our people who went to that tweet understood it as a joke.
Right.
And have laughed. Others have said that's a little bit too harsh. But again, if you think that's harsh, oh my God! I mean, look at what others are actually saying. 7428. Let's leave this one. It says, what planet do you two come from? He had a Bobby Sable house. Deal in here earlier today. Bobby Sablehouse, man. The last I knew, I thought he went to like Hollywood and is like a director, a producer. I remember him with the phenomenal hair. And he ended up picking, obviously, the University of Florida. 7428, you can ask us why we are from another planet. I don't understand what you mean there. 0811 says, at least 25 years ago, he's talking about a hole-in-one. He said, Rick, since you keep asking about Cimarron, last time I played there was a hole-in-one. He said he did it 25 years ago. Well, I got advice for you, man. They've changed the golf course quite a bit over the last 25 years. Really nice, and big fan of it. So go ahead and check that out. 0253. Rick, best guess of a great song, Albatross by Fleetwood Mac. Okay. What's the old Fleetwood Mac? I like hip. What is it? Is it hip? No. Oh gosh, it was Peter Green or it was Bob Welsh. It was before Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. It'll come to me in a minute. Got me not paralyzed. Got me. Someone let me know. It's it's right on the tip of my tongue. That's why I should stick with sports, right, people? 28-35, Ballou. What's the Jags running back can jump over the lineman for a touchdown, 4th and 1? We need the sure thing. Yeah, I'd like a little bit more of that. I think you have two real quality backs. It feels like Bayshell Tootin is always falling forward. Also, LeQuint Allen, Hypnotized is the name of the song by Fleetwood Mac. But as I was saying, Allen actually had more snaps. Allen Jr. did over the weekend than Tootin, but that was because of the jumbo package and things that they were running. Not only a jumbo package, but even in a normal offensive setting, they did a lot of two-back sets this past weekend. I love the fact that Norvell and his staff are making changes for what they think is best to win. I wonder how much of that is really going to come into play this week against the top defense in pro football, both scoring and total. And again, they're number 4 against the pass, and they're number 6 against the run. I mean, in their +6 on the turnover to takeaway ratio. Jacksonville +8. Jacksonville has 15 takeaways. They've given it away 7 times. Houston has 13 takeaways. They've given away 7 times. So they're playing a football team as well that does take the ball over. And there's no doubt, if you remember during week 2, Jacksonville loses that game if they do not force those 3 takeaways. They got C.J. Stroud to throw 2 picks, and then you had the big, fumble of Nico Collins, which was just enormous in that victory. So that's going to be a big part of this as well. All right, Rafael Esparza is going to join us. We'll check the money, see where it's been going through Las Vegas on some of the bigger games this weekend. Really interested in what the public is doing with Jacksonville and Houston. It would appear that most of the money has gone on Jacksonville, but I always wonder, instead, could this be just a massive jolt by some of the sharps out there who put money on this? To me, it looks easy. Okay? It looks easy. And Davis Mills, Trevor Lawrence, that's it. That's what I'm looking at. That should be the difference right there. A generational quarterback against a guy who came out in the same class in the 3rd round, started 20-some-odd games for a couple of seasons. It did not work for Davis Mills. Now he's being asked to go in once again after the C.J. Stroud injury. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock. Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
What's happening, beautiful people? It's your main man, E to the T here. And cool air, open trails, and that perfect Florida winter sunshine, woo! It's the season to get outside and explore Clay County. From Christmas parades and hometown festivals to holiday markets and local theater shows, holiday magic is lighting up every corner of Clay County. Get outside, get moving, and get active. Come see everything happening this season at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestaProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestaProsNEFlorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
This Veterans Day, Navy Mutual would like to salute Bobby Jones as our hero in sports. Jones is known as one of the greatest golfers in history and is perhaps best known for winning all 4 major tournaments in 1930.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for a limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Thursday night football, the Raiders, right after Jacksonville's victory, they get a short week. They go to Denver to take on the Broncos. So give you an opportunity right here, Jacksonville fans, to get a real good look at Denver and just how dominant they are at home. They're 4-0 there, 7-2 overall. Of course, the Raiders have struggled. 1-3 away from Las Vegas. That's coming up tonight at 8:15. Also, good news today, health-wise, for the Jaguars. Diami Brown, who was part of the concussion protocol, limited yesterday. He was upgraded to full today. So certainly wide receiver is a position right now of need in getting healthy. That happened. Also, earlier in the week, Tim Patrick has been fully participating both Wednesday and Thursday after his growing injury kept him out last week. Couple of other notes. These same 4 guys who did not practice yesterday did not practice today for the Jaguars, and that includes Brian Thomas Jr., starting left guard Ezra Cleveland, Jordan Lewis, which is absolutely a big blow on the defense. Let's see, Devin Lloyd full again. Devin Lloyd's going to play. Devin Lloyd's been full both days. As far as Houston, no C.J. Stroud, no Kaimi Fairburn, and it also looks like their starting right tackle is not going to play, Titus Howard. And there are several other players that will be questionable, and we probably will not know until 90 minutes before kick on Sunday.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Rafael Esparza joins us, and he does so each and every week. Okay, the World Series complete. It took extra innings. How did things end up money-wise at most windows?
We needed the Blue Jays to win. I mean, it was a good one just because it went 7 games. I think a lot of people had Dodgers in 4 or 5. But we had a great World Series, 7 games. Really, the only blowout was Game 1. So we were pleased with the betting action that came through, on, especially on Saturday's Game 7, because they had monster football games that you had to go up to.
All right, NHL and NBA underway. Any big activity there? The seasons are so long. Will that come in, perhaps a few months after the first of the year?
I mean, NHL, you get action throughout the week. I mean, it won't get that much action today because you have to go up against Thursday night football and then 2 college football games. NBA really doesn't get full swing when it gets closer to the holidays. Same thing with college basketball.
All right, Florida Gators won a national title. Money there, and who else is really up against them to the early odds, win a national title this year in hoops?
A lot of people like Connecticut this year, which I do as well. I like the backcourt. They're a little bit more deeper. Florida did lose some key guys. I just want to see how they come back into action. I'm not sold on Purdue. I'm not sold on Houston, but keep an eye out for BYU. They could be in a college football playoff and maybe even cut the nets down.
Yeah, what a huge game that this weekend with BYU and Texas Tech. No question about it. All right, the Jaguars, they're a beaten-up football team. Houston is a beaten-up football team. Since the C.J. Stroud announcement, we've seen a flip in the line. Now Jacksonville favored by maybe a point and a half. How's the money gone on this game?
Yeah, it's probably going to be continue to come in Jacksonville. I think once the bettors realize no C.J. Stroud, I wouldn't be shocked if we see 2 on Sunday. Jacksonville favorite -2. I lean towards the Jags. Big momentum win coming out of the Death Star. Now you get a shorthanded Houston team that has a backup quarterback playing. So I like the Jags this week.
I was in the Death Star, and I enjoyed it, and I really thought the under was the play, and it was 6-3 at half. And I was thinking, boy, I guess for once I know what I'm talking about. Then, of course, points came from all directions once you got to the second half plus overtime.
I wish I was there and not at the Breeders' Cup because I don't know how many times I lost by either a nose or a dumb jockey move. So I probably would have been better off at the Death Star than Breeders' Cup.
Well, when you look at a game that is a rivalry, but it's a lame duck situation. Clemson's had an awful year. Dabo's under fire, which I don't agree with. I think he should remain on. Mike Norvell, guys like me, want him out. Florida State finally got off the schneid last week. When you have 2 disappointing teams with coaches under that set of circumstances playing, is this one of those deals where you just leave it alone, or is there still money to be made here?
I would leave it. I would think if you're going to bet it, there's only Florida State or nothing. I think Clemson is a lame duck, and if they lose this game, the boosters are going to have to realize Dabo not getting JUCO players or not getting transfer portal players is not working, and we've seen it back-to-back years. If they lose to Florida State, I just don't see how Dabo stays.
All right. Hey, Billy Gonzalez, Florida laid it on the field against Georgia. They played as hard as they possibly can, and the officials came into play. Do you expect the same type of effort now making a trip out of Kentucky?
It's going to be very interesting. Now it's a road game in Kentucky. I think Florida has the better athletes, the better team. That's why they're a 3.5 point favorite. But as a road game against a lame duck team, are these players looking for the transfer portal, or are they going to stay?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, Raphael, what else are we looking at coming up this weekend?
Like I said, we have college football today, 2 games. Raiders, Denver tonight, a great slate of football all weekend long. Who knows if there's going to be a UFC event? I don't know anymore. They've had more issues than the NBA the last couple of days, so we still have UFC going on this weekend at NHL, NBA, and college hoops.
All right, tell us about your show.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a pop-up show after this with Jonathan Coachman on Amazon Prime and on YouTube TV. We're going to do a little Thursday Night Football, Vegas and Denver, and then you can catch me and him on Monday through Friday on Coach's Corner.
All right. Raphael, always a lot of fun. Thank you.
Take it easy. Have a great day.
All right, there he goes. Raphael Esparza, who took in some horse racing last week. I missed him out in Las Vegas. But anyway, it was a good time. Ready to get back out on the road. Won't be as entertaining, obviously, in Houston, but nonetheless, I'm focused on this football game. It's a great opportunity for the Jaguars. It absolutely is, if they can just get through Houston, and they should. I mean, this is the first time since 2017 this football team should be able to sweep them. I'll be over at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, and we'll have some fresh player interviews and some sound there from the locker room as, you got to put away that win, and you got to focus now on trying to get this done against the Houston Texans. So that'll be part of Friday's show. Also coming up tomorrow is Tim Brando. Let me see. Timmy, I think he is in, he texted me earlier today. They have Nebraska, UCLA. Oh, boy. So he took the long flight to LAX. So he will have UCLA against Nebraska. And, turmoil for both teams. Dominic Raiola out for the remainder of the year at Nebraska right after Matt Rule signed that big-time contract extension. And Jerry Neuheisel, got off to a phenomenal start, winning his first 3 games at UCLA. So we'll talk to Brando about that tomorrow, but we'll also dive into the very latest here with Florida State, and everything else that's big in college football. That's tomorrow's show, and we're 6 to 8 tomorrow night. All right, not 4 to 6. We've been doing a lot of high school football here, and I've been going 4 to 6 on 10-10. No tomorrow, 6 to 8 on 92.5 FM. And remember, you can always get the 92.5 FM app and take it with you crystal clear no matter where you go.
Perfect passes. Great pass. Thrilling moments. Did that just happen? Winning plays. Touchdown! Your radio home for play-by-play. 1010XL.
Do you have numbness and tingling in your fingers? Or wake up at night and have to shake your hand? Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari, and at Bari Orthopedics, we have a myriad of treatments that could possibly help you. If you have numbness and tingling, you may have carpal tunnel. We have cortisone injections, PRP injections, and shockwave therapy that may help treat the numbness and tingling that you have. We also treat it surgically with endoscopic carpal tunnel release, a 2-centimeter incision that will release the nerve and have you back at work and doing what you want to do in life in no time. If you have numbness and tingling in your hand, give us a call at Bari Orthopedics or log on at bariorthopedics.com.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
Get a look behind the throw with Denny Thompson.
Yeah, I want to tell you what's really happening at the quarterback position.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer. Friday mornings on The Drill, revved up by George Moore Chevrolet and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99%. and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here for Zero Res. It's Thanksgiving time, man. But listen, don't deal with the toughest gravy, cranberry sauce, or pumpkin pie disasters. Let the cleaning freaks do it. Get back to clean. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $149. A 4th room free with a canned food donation. Ideally, a full bag of cans, not just 1 or 2. Also, take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call my friend Zero Res right now, 28757, or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010 special. Zero Res, spelled backwards and forwards. It spells the same.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La playa awaits.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic floors, where every step is fantastic.
Hey, 1010XL fans, it's game time, but don't get sidelined from the fun. The JTA Game Day Express is the smartest way to get to the bank on time. It's all sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. There are 5 convenient pickup locations across the River City, but remember, Game Day Express is cashless. All passes must be purchased through the MyJTA mobile app. Get your $10 pass today. For all of your game day needs, go to myjtafla.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. Tim Brando will join us on the program. Also have the very latest from the Jaguars locker room over at the Miller Electric Center before the trip to Houston. Hacker Nation up right now. You get to enjoy some great West Coast football tonight.
Yeah, AFC West battle. I wouldn't mind if the Raiders pulled the upset tonight, but another loss in the Broncos. You always look at the standings this time of year when your team's in it. And, Rick, we haven't been able to do that for many years over the last 15, so I'm going to enjoy it. And, yeah, we'll do a little scoreboard watching tonight. You already have the tiebreaker over the Raiders. You're up basically 4 games on them. I'd love for them to beat Denver tonight.
I thought Florida left it all on the field, played really hard for Billy Gonzalez on Saturday. Do they have the same type of emotion and effort at Kentucky?
No, and I've brought this up all week. At least my opinion is they're not going to. I mean, look, you had the firing of Billy Napier. There was so much, like you said, genuine emotion. And look at the end of that game. I mean, you had some players in tears over there. And then you got to bottle all that up and get right back at it with a trip to Lexington, playing a Kentucky team coming off their best win of the year, and a Kentucky team that's playing for their head coach and Mark Stoops. I actually think it might be a tough putt for Florida. Look, they've answered the bell so many times in the last year. Ole Miss last year, LSU last year, Texas this year. At some point, the wheels are going to come off.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, the bottom's going to fall out. 13 players have already been ruled out of this game. The Gator injury problem, there needs to be a documentary done about that. They have had more injuries in the last 3 years than probably any team in the country. I think Florida might be in some trouble on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. And boy, I have no feeling for Florida State and Clemson, especially after what Duke did to Clemson. I mean, it's a rivalry game, so I think they'll get after one another, but you could have 2 lame duck coaches, which is ridiculous when it comes to Dabo Swinney out there. But I don't know what to make of this game either.
Norvell beating Wake Forest last week. I haven't been able to ask you this. If he beats Clemson, is he back in good graces of Florida State fans?
I'm so disappointed in how soft some of our fan base has become. They're like, well, if he rolls out 4 in a row. I'm like, he hasn't won a road game since Fleetwood Mac Rumors was the number 1 album in the United States of America. You think he's going to go into the swamp? You think he's going to go into that snake pit at NC State on a Friday night? You think those fans aren't going to be amped 2 down seasons going in the Death Valley on Saturday? It's going to be a very difficult place to win. But if he does, there's no question in my mind that Florida State's administration does not want to pay this buyout and hire a new coach. If he can win some of these games, I think they're going to do their best to try to keep him.
Problem Florida State has is the same problem Florida has last year. You're going to be negatively recruited against. I saw they've lost 2 recruits in the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to happen. You know, when you're recruiting against Florida State, you're going to tell these kids and their parents, Mike Norvell will not be there for the entirety of your kid's tenure in college. Why would you commit to that guy? And that's something Florida State's going to have to deal with as long as he's on the hot seat.
All right, what else you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, I was inside the Jaguar locker room. We're going to hear from Chuma Edoga, Antonio Johnson, and Bashel Tootin. Did one-on-one interviews with all those guys. Also Jordan Dejani of CBS Sports talking Jags and AFC South. And former Jaguar and Texan wide receiver Cecil Shorts joins me, so we are loaded up until 10 o'clock.
All right, Hack. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. Appreciate all your input. Some great stuff tonight on our text line, all right, as always. And what about YouTube? 1010XL into the night. Absolutely. Remember, tomorrow we are with you 6 to 8, back to our regularly scheduled program. So that's going to be the deal. Coming up tomorrow night, Tim Brando will join us. Again, Locker Room Sound. I'll get Jaguar players from the Miller Electric Center. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. Thank you to Philly Godfather. All right. Dylan Denmark is the producer. My name is Rick Ballou. Have yourself a great